Welcome back to the channel. My name is Thomas Fletcher and I'm the host of both the LCSW Network and the Military Social Work Network. If you're new to both of these channels, please do me a favor by smashing that like button, by subscribing to the channel, and by sharing this video with your social work colleagues and friends. The purpose of both of these channels is to create a community of hope and support where social workers can come for relevant news, information, and inspiration. Well, welcome back to Ask a Military Social Worker. So, we have a comment here from ICU, and ICU states, I'm a veteran with an MSW and I want to be a military social worker for active duty soldiers and their families. Can you provide me with guidance and advice? Thank you. All right, ICU. Well, thank you for sending me your comment. So you have quite a few options. First of all, thank you for your service, ICU. It's really commendable that you want to continue to serve your fellow veterans in the capacity as a military social worker. So let's start with maybe some of the easier options, and then we'll go to the harder ones. So the positions of least resistance, I would say, would be to look for, first of all, DoD civilian social work positions. And you can do that through USAJOBS.gov. Okay, and I've talked about that in previous videos, numerous videos, but that would be the first pathway. And again, I think that would be the pathway of least resistance. Secondly, you could look for DoD contractor positions for social workers. I receive them all the time from different contractors looking for LCSWs all around the country to work with active duty service members and their families. I will leave in the description box, I will leave maybe one or two contractors that have contacted me over the past few years. So I'll leave their contact information. And I'm not affiliated with any contractors. Just a friendly disclosure that this video is not being sponsored, endorsed, promoted, compensated by any governmental, military contractors. Again, this video is for educational purposes. So you got DoD civilian positions, you got DoD contractor positions. So I think these are the two easiest routes. I would say the routes that might be a little bit more challenging, not impossible, but just more challenging, would be to go back into the service, either as an active duty service member. You certainly could do that, granted that you're still within the age requirements for active duty. You could certainly do that, and you did mention soldiers, so I am guessing that you want to serve in the U.S. Army. I'm kind of making a broad assumption there, but you would have stated otherwise. You would have stated service member, or you would have stated sailors or airmen. Or Marines. So I'm just going to strongly assume that you probably are you may be an Army veteran, and you may want to work with Army service members and their families. So that being the case, you could look at active duty Army. You could also look at U.S. Army National Guard. That's a service that I served in for the past 11 years. Or you could look at U.S. Army Reserve. And if you did decide to look at Army Reserve, what you would want to do is, rather than TPU positions, which are the traditional reservists, 1 weekend a month, 2 weekends, 2 weeks in the summer, what you would want to do, you would want to look for what's called IMA positions, individual mobilization augmentees. Those positions are basically created to backfill active duty positions that have become vacant due to deployment. Okay, so let's say, for example, you have an active duty social worker working in a military treatment facility, say in San Antonio, right? That's Brooke Army Medical Center. And let's say let's say they get mobilized for an overseas deployment. OCONUS, let's say they need a social worker in the medical center, one of the medical centers in Germany. So that active duty social worker that has been serving in Brooke Army Medical, now they're going on a 1-year deployment to serve in one of the hospitals in Germany. So now this facility in Brooke Army Medical Center has a vacancy. So what they may do is they may post that as an IMA not to exceed 1 year, because they are anticipating that their active duty social worker who's gone to deploy in Germany will come back to Brooke Army. So IMAs are another way of serving as an active duty social worker in a military treatment facility where you would be working with active duty soldiers and their families. Okay, so those are the pathways. Again, just to reiterate, DoD civilian positions, which you can find on USA Jobs. DoD contractor positions, which may not always be posted on USA Jobs. You may have to look at other job postings like Indeed, and there's others. But again, I will leave some contractor information in the description box of this video. So we've got DoD civilian, DoD contractor, coming back into active duty, and lastly, reserve component, either National Guard or Army Reserve as an individual mobilization augmentee. All right, ICU, I hope I answered your question. Thank you for sending me your question, your comment, and I invite all others, please send me your comments, send me your questions. I am a military social worker in both the Department of Veterans Affairs as well as in the reserve components. So I'm going to stop there, but I want to thank you all for watching this video. For all the social workers and other licensed mental health professionals, thank you for the work that you do every day, for your clients, for your agency, and for the profession. Please continue to support each other and yourselves. Bye for now.